We're here in the matter of the State of Ohio versus Andrea V. Wasik. This is case 24 CR 1364. Ms. Wasik is present in court. She's accompanied by her attorney, Ms. Tomasik. We are here today with the defendant having previously entered a plea of guilty to assault on a peace officer, a felony of the 4th degree. That was back on the 18th of April. At that time, the court ordered a pre-sentence investigation along with victim impact statement. Those having been accomplished, we are here today for sentencing.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Is there any reason not to go forward with sentencing?
No, Your Honor, we're prepared to proceed with sentencing.
Anything you'd like to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. We would like to ask the court today to allow Ms. Wasik a chance to be put on community control sanctions. In speaking with Ms. Wasik and based on her pre-sentence report, it's clear that she has a lot of mental health issues, a lot of trauma in her life. Your Honor, she does go to Signature Health. She goes at least once a month to speak with somebody, and she is on medication. She indicated to me that she wants to pursue grief counseling and trauma counseling. It's something she's never done before. She said her prior trauma hasn't started coming up until later in her life. I know a lot of the trauma was linked to her being a teenager. She had a lot going on at that time, and she indicated to me it hasn't come up until as of late. She also indicated to me her housing situation has been very unstable, but she has been very communicative with me. She shows up to court. She shows up to offers conferences. So even with her housing situation, all the stress she has going on.
Buckle up, guys. Today we're stepping into a tense courtroom where Nicholas Butkus Taft is about to face the heat. Right from the jump, the judge makes it clear, no more leniency. Nicholas missed court, and the bench isn't tolerating it. His bail gets doubled. The tension in the room thickens. This isn't just about one missed date. It's about respect for the law. The judge wants accountability, not excuses. That opening strike sets the tone. And with Nicholas standing silent, the courtroom already knows this won't be easy. The pressure's on, and it's only the beginning.
She has been very responsible when it comes to this case. She knows she messed up and she wants to take care of it. She did indicate to me that she is on the path to getting housing, but she said will help with her mental health and help get that anger under control. She's looking to rent a home close to Perry, so she'll still be within the area. She did apply for housing in Lake and Geauga County, but she unfortunately was denied, and that's been her biggest hiccup. Your Honor, based on her mental health and her living situation, she's trying to get her life on track. She's trying to stay out of trouble. Last I spoke with her, she indicated she doesn't have much of an issue with alcohol. I do believe, though, that some of this has played into that, so I do think she would benefit from a dual diagnosis situation.
She said she hasn't been drinking over a year.
I know, Your Honor, and I know there was some concern with the new cases coming up, and I know she has a pretty lengthy criminal history, and I know that criminal history, a lot of it leads to violent tendencies. She's been on probation before. Like I said, speaking with Ms. Wasik, I do believe mental health is her biggest underlying condition. I think if she has the ability to get that under control, she'll be able to get on a path to stay out of trouble. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Wasik, you have the right to address the court before your sentence. You can say anything you want. Is there anything you want to say?
All right, guys, let's get into it. Nicholas's lawyer jumps in, hoping to soften the blow, claiming his client missed court because of the child's treatment. But the judge isn't buying it. There's no space for sympathy when rules are broken. The court's message is loud. This isn't kindergarten. Legal consequences won't pause for personal chaos. The judge shuts it down, demanding better from everyone in that room. The law waits for no one. And Nicholas's silence? That's only making things worse. The judge expects order, not excuses.
Good morning, Your Honor, and the court. My name is Andrea Wasik. I'm 58 years old. I'm not making any excuses. I feel terrible for my actions. I'd like to apologize to the court system and also to the officer that I victimized. I'm not making any excuses. I've struggled with my mental health. I have gone through some jail time. I've come out. I am on Social Security. That process happened 3 years ago for mental health. I have struggled to get my medication right. I've had Bell's palsy and also Stephen-Barr syndrome from medication, so it's been a long journey. It's been a struggle. When I think sometimes that the medication is working, it will affect me differently maybe later on, and then I'll experience a physical anomaly from it. I was manic at the time of the incident. I do remember prior to the actual officer coming there, I was told by the driver what had happened in between. I do know what I experienced. I had never experienced that physically ever, but I was on a medication called Caplyta at that time, and it was causing me, I had an assessment on October 30th, and I believe that the incident happened on November 11th, and I was having suicidal thoughts, and the medication was not, it was not working well with me.
Hold tight. This part gets heavier. The defense fumbles through more personal issues. Illness, last-minute changes, life just piling up. But again, the judge isn't swayed. He warns the courtroom not to throw out details just to gain sympathy. In this system, facts are king. Nicholas's lawyer tries hard, but the judge cuts through it all. He knows people try to stretch the truth when pressure mounts. And today, that's not going to fly. With trust on the line, this courtroom is operating on precision and honesty.
And I'm on a lot of medication, and sometimes I don't know, I get, I was on Ambien, Trazodone, Vistarol for sleeping. I am not on that medication anymore. It had caused me to do some bizarre things that I would wake up and didn't be aware of. I do know at the time I was on Caplyta that I just did an assessment on the 30th of October for approximately 3 hours with my mental health doctor, and I just stopped taking the medication because it was making me suicidal. I had suicidal tendencies, and I tried to set myself on fire, believe it or not. It didn't work out, thank God, but I was experiencing like so much of the medication. It would work for a little bit, and then, I would get, I got Stephen-Barr syndrome. I got, like I said, I'm not trying to make any excuses, but if I'm stable in my housing, my Social Security has been cut off since then. I'm doing odd jobs to try to support myself. And I applied for housing in Lake County, and I was denied. In Lake County and Geauga, because of this, they sent me the records from Lake County. So I just applied for housing down the street in Perry so I could be close, if possible, and to reconnect with other services like trauma services.
All right, now here's where it starts to break apart. Nicholas finally speaks, but the judge cuts him off. The courtroom is not a space for random commentary. It's structured, strict, and focused. When Nicholas interrupts, he only digs a hole deeper. The judge reminds everyone of courtroom conduct. This isn't street talk, it's formal proceedings. His tone? Ice cold. Everyone watches as the defendant fails to realize how much damage he's doing. In court, even words can be weapons against yourself.
I was going to go to grief counseling at St. Anthony of Padua's, but I've never had that before. I've never had that, and I know I need it because these things are coming up from my past when I was younger, and it's affecting my life horribly now. And when I was a teenager, I had my parents and my family, and I had more of a solid support group. Everybody is gone, and it's just me, and I've tried to work out things with my counselor, and try to go do the best that I can. Go to IOP. I was going to IOP.
Your parents passed away. That was 27 years ago. Your mother passed away 14 years ago.
Yes. And I just had a sister, my best friend, my closest person 2 years ago, and that trauma of that, I've never,
I'm trying to figure out how that has to do with this when it's done so long.
Well, the medication, like I said, I'm experiencing things that I've never experienced in my prior life. I have been going to...
Prior life? You have prior life?
I mean, I'm sorry, my prior younger, when I was younger. My sister passed away 2 years ago, and I've struggled with that immensely. She had a severe mental illness also, and
Ms. Wasik, you've been committing crimes for 30 years.
pardon me,
You've been committing crimes for 30 years.
30.
Yeah, 19.
This one's tough to watch. Nicholas tries again, this time with emotion in his voice. But the judge pushes back hard. He's not interested in drama. He spells it out. Talking without permission, derailing order, only adds fuel to fire. Every slip is noted, every tone measured. You can feel the tension in the room rise. Nicholas wants to explain, but that moment has passed. The court doesn't entertain personal versions of the law. One wrong step, and the gavel's coming down hard.
1995 it started. 30 years.
I was like 36 years old when I started developing. Things that I wasn't sure what was going on
You were
in my
28
head.
years old when you started committing crimes.
28,
30 years ago. How old are you now?
58.
All right.
I don't remember them, but
You don't remember a lot.
I don't. I'm severely. I apologize to the courts and to the officer. Please present.
Anything else you'd like to say?
Please have mercy on me, please, and give me a chance. I could do probation. I know I can.
You've never done it. You're on it. You violate every single time. You're on probation when you did this.
Yes, I was on probation for a DUI 3 years prior to that. Yes, I was. Your
Right, I
Honor.
mean, so you say you can do it. You've never done it successfully.
Can you give me a chance to, please? I successfully completed a couple programs, CATS, Neil Cap, Orca House. I successfully completed those. Neil Cap twice. I know I can do this.
I don't know how you
have
know
to
you
get
can do it.
Stable on my medication and my housing, and I know I can do it. I'm even willing to do, restitution to the police department if that's needed. I will do whatever I can.
Nicholas tries to explain the reasoning behind his failed court appearance. He blames sickness and schedule confusion. But the judge? Still not moved. He says if people can't handle the system, they shouldn't ignore it. They should face it. There's no flexibility for flakiness here. And it becomes clear the courtroom expects not just answers, but accountability. Every excuse just further confirms the judge's doubts. Nicholas thought explanation might save him. It only deepens the issue.
Whatever. I think I've never been given a chance, and I don't know much about it. I
You've
know
never been
people-
given a chance?
No, I'm saying I've never been given a chance to be on the mental health docket. I need help to help myself. I can't do it all by myself because sometimes things get jumbled and I get too overwhelmed. And if I can bounce it off somebody else, like my counselor, at times I bounce it off of her or Eric from IOP or somebody else, then they give me insight on it, and then I can focus and think a better option or way of doing things. I've never been given the chance to be on the mental health docket. I think that would be very helpful to me. That I have to be accountable for certain things that are told that I have to do. I struggle to get to places, but I can do it. I can do it. And when I have more of a structure in my life, I work better. I do better. I want to do better. I want to have a better life. I want to be a part of the productive part of the society, not the destructive part of society. When I moved over here, I was doing wonderful.
Nicholas's attempts to regain favor fall flat. The judge lists off past behavior, laying out a pattern that's impossible to ignore. This isn't just one mistake. It's a cycle of missed responsibility. The court isn't just reacting emotionally. It's building a record. A man's credibility in court is like a thread. Once it's pulled too often, it breaks. You feel the moment hit when the judge starts listing off facts. Nicholas came to explain, but the facts are doing the real talking now.
You know, I felt good. I had people that were suggesting things to me that I looked at a different perspective, and I was doing them. You know, I want to be a productive, positive part of society, not a negative part of society. You know, I want to acculate into a community. I want to be a part of the community. I volunteered at the senior center. I loved it. I volunteered at the senior center. You know, I volunteered at the churches here, St. Mary's and St. James, the Hunger Center. I mean, the more I do things like that, the better I feel and the more structured I feel. I need to get stable on medication. I've taken so much medication that sometimes I don't know if I'm coming or going, to be honest with you. And when things happen to me, like different, like I'm waking up, putting plates in the microwave and, you know, doing stuff like that, the medication is not good for me, you know, but it's, you know, hit or miss. I take so much medication sometimes that, you know, sometimes it has an ill effect on me. Sometimes it has a good effect on me. I mean, I would like to be stable in my life and, like I said, be a positive part.
Now the hammer drops. The judge hits hard on expectations, saying clearly that if Nicholas wants any chance of change, he has to follow court orders to the letter. It's not optional. This courtroom isn't guessing. It's setting boundaries. The message? Follow the structure or face the consequences. The judge talks about calendar resets and communication, but it's all underlined by pressure. Nicholas isn't just being given another shot. He's being warned. Loudly. And that warning won't come again.
Of society, and apologize to the court system and to the officer. I really apologize for my actions. Sincerely. Sincerely.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thomas, anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mulligan.
Your Honor, at the time of the plea, the state agreed to recommend community control, and at this juncture, I'm obligated to stand by that recommendation. Thank you.
This court reviewed the pre-sentence report investigation, the psychological evaluation. I consider the facts and circumstances of the offense involved, the nature of the offense involved. I've considered what's been said here in court today. All this is considered in light of the purposes and principles of felony sentencing set forth in 29-29-11. For the factors in 29-29-12, nothing stands out factually indicating it's more or less serious. As for the recidivism factors, almost every factor here is present indicating recidivism is more likely. The defendant committed this offense while she was on probation to another court. She has a lengthy history of criminal convictions going back to 1995. And the nature of those convictions are all the same thing we're here for. They're offenses of violence.
We're at a crucial turning point. The judge decides it's time to take back control. He tells Nicholas that his lawyer will be handling everything going forward. No more outbursts. No more interruptions. The courtroom falls silent as that final line is drawn. From here on, Nicholas won't be allowed to steer anything on his own. His words got him deeper. Now his silence will have to serve. This isn't just procedure. It's a reset. And the courtroom now watches what happens next.
Time I've said this today, but I've been doing this for 20 years. I've never seen somebody with as many convictions for assaults and battery as, and it's not even close. As Ms. What were the numbers that you had, Megan? You had 30 arrests, or no, how many arrests for assaulting a police officer?
The charges total 10, the convictions total 7.
And then total assault charges, 30?
Charges of violence, I totaled at 30 with 15 convictions.
Incredible. 30 arrests. Was that 30 plus the 10 for this, or that includes those?
No, the 30.
30 arrests for assaults and batteries. That doesn't count any of the disorderly conduct charges. 30 arrests for offenses of violence. Incredible. You've not responded favorably to previously imposed sanctions. You've been given multiple chances. Multiple times you've been on probation, and every time you're on probation, you violate. You don't follow the rules. You don't do what you're supposed to do. You pick up new charges. That's a big one. You were on probation at the time you did this. While you're on bond in this case, you've been arrested on another charge, which is pending right now in Ashtabula County. There's an alcohol problem that relates to the offense, and you deny it. You claim that you've been sober since April of 24. Yet, in this case, there was alcohol smelled on your breath. In the new case pending in Ashtabula, there was alcohol that was smelled.
Here comes another blow. The judge turns toward the prosecution, asking directly about charges and consequences. They start laying out what the sentence could look like. Probation violations, missed appearances, failure to comply. The legal system is about stacking actions, and Nicholas's tower is leaning badly. The prosecutor's tone is calm but firm. Facts over feelings. The courtroom hears what Nicholas has earned, not what he intended. And suddenly, the situation feels heavier.
About your person. In this case, there's no genuine remorse. You can stand up here and say you apologize, but you don't even admit what you did. You say you don't remember anything. Now, you remember every specific detail, up until the moment that you get into it with the police officer, and all of a sudden your mind goes blank and you don't remember anything after that. But you weren't drunk, you weren't drinking, according to you. That's just not credible. It's not believable. So that's every factor in the recidivism more likely, which basically to me it's guaranteed. There's no factors indicating recidivism is less likely. Under 2913B1, the court finds the defendant previously served a prison term. I forgot to mention that earlier. She committed the offense while she was on community control or probation. The offense involved physical harm to another. She has a prior conviction for causing harm. Those are all factors overriding any presumption for community control sanctions. Prison's consistent with the purposes and principles of sentencing. There's just no way this court could ever make a finding that you're amenable to community control sanctions. You're not. You've demonstrated that. I don't know. You stand here and say, I know I could do it. I don't know how you could say, I know I could do it, because you've never done it. And you're just going to continue engaging in this behavior because that's what you do. It doesn't matter what anyone...
This one shakes up expectations. Nicholas's lawyer tries to pivot again, offering new terms, attempting to show cooperation. But the judge stops him short. He points out that this isn't a back-and-forth deal session. There are rules. The courtroom isn't a place for negotiation games. It's a place where credibility matters. The judge repeats it. There are no shortcuts. It's clear now that the defense team is scrambling, but the judge stays steady. The system can bend for no
for 30 years, and you haven't done anything to change it. Therefore, it will be the sentence of this court that on count 1, defendant serve a term in prison of 10 months. She has credit for 3 days. Counts 2 and 3 will be dismissed. I need to advise you upon your release from prison, you may be placed on post-release control for up to 2 years. If you are and you violate any of those conditions, the parole authority can return you to prison as punishment for violating their rules for another 5 months, the maximum being 50% of what I just imposed. Any additional prison term imposed for violating post-release control is being imposed as part of the sentence at this time. The court disapproves the defendant's placement in a program of shock incarceration, intensive prison program, or transfer to transitional control. And the defendant's ordered to pay all costs incurred in this action. Ms. Mulligan, is there anything else for the record at this time?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Tomaszek.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Let's take a breath, but not for long. The judge agrees to review the situation further, but gives a strict warning. Any more disruptions or missed deadlines, and it's over. This isn't leniency. It's a last chance. The courtroom quiets down, but the pressure hasn't lifted. Everyone feels it. Nicholas is skating on thin ice, and that ice is cracking. This moment isn't a win. It's a window. And if he doesn't act fast, that window slams shut. You can almost hear the ticking clock.